Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay. We're in the hill country of Texas. It's almost spring, the weather's perfect, it's a great place to ride. It used to be a ranch, one of the largest ranches in Texas. It was donated by Parrie Haynes, and we're going to look at the history of the Parrie Haynes Ranch. We're going to take you to some cowboy cooking. We're going to show you some extraordinary people that will impress you and inspire you. We have some celebrities on the ride. You're going to love that. But best of all, we're going to have friends that we've ridden with in the past and new friends we've made. We want you to sit back and relax and enjoy this show on Best of America by Horseback. We'll be right back.
Part of this show is brought to you by Tucker Trail Saddles, the world's finest trail saddles and equipment company. By Mill Creek Manure Spreaders, clean stalls in half the time with half the work. By CSI Saddle Pads, designed for your horse's comfort and performance in mind. The difference is amazing. And by Spurs Big Fix, wound, skin, and hoof. The more you use it, the more you'll love it. The Dude Ranchers Association is celebrating 90 years promoting all-inclusive quality Western adventure vacations, with over 100 ranches west of the Mississippi offering activities like horseback riding, skeet shooting, whitewater rafting, fly fishing, and great children's programs. You are sure to find the perfect location for family reunions, girlfriend getaways, or that vacation of a lifetime. Dude Ranch Association ranches adhere to the highest industry standards. We are all about quality. On this episode of Best of America by Horseback, we are in Killeen, Texas, near Fort Hood, at the Parrie Haynes Equestrian Center at Parrie Haynes Ranch. Once a huge and thriving Texas ranch, much of the land was willed to the state of Texas by the late Parrie Haynes. Today, it is open to the public, with thousands of acres open to trail riding, with camping facilities and horse corrals right in the center of the state. The campsites and trails are being expanded and improved by Anna Truby, who leases and manages the Parrie Haynes Equestrian Center and Ranch.
Anna, I have to ask you first, when you hear the name Parrie Haynes, people wonder, what is Parrie Haynes? It was a person, became a ranch, became the facility here today, but tell us about what is Parrie Haynes.
Parrie Haynes originally was a woman. Her name was really Parrie Haynes, and it's shortened down to Parrie as a nickname. And she had this ranch with her husband until she died in 1957, and they left the ranch Parrie Haynes to the state of Texas for the Orphans of Texas. And this is what is left now, about 4,500 acres.
Actually, there was a period of time when it wasn't used for the orphans, and it just sort of laid idle. And you'd been riding here for how many years?
I've probably been out here close to 20 years. And for a while it was really nice. Texas Parks and Wildlife were able to save this place to keep it open to the public. And it was open to the public through them until about 2012.
What do we really have here?
On this part of the ranch that we lease, we have about 1,600 acres, which is just under 3 sections. All of our trails loop around one to another. So you have an outer ring that can be about 12 miles, another smaller ring that's about 9 miles, some that are 6 miles, and other ones that are only 3 miles. But you're not restricted to stay on red, blue, or yellow. You can go wherever you like.
You can start out and you decide you want to come in early, you can just cut and loop back in.
Absolutely, and my name is at the bottom of the map with my phone number, so if you're out on the 3-hour tour, I can get you. A lot of the trails you need to have shoes or boots on if the horse is not used to a rockier terrain. But other than that, most of the trails that are within the first 3 or 4 miles are just fine with probably boots and just being careful. It's not totally rocky. Some of it is just plain old dirt and sand.
Tell me about where we're going to ride. I remember riding by the windmill. I remember how the river was just pristine, crystal clear. Describe the ride so people will know what they're going to be doing.
Tomorrow morning I'm going to take people out past an old windmill and an old field that had been reclaimed now from the 30s, and we'll wander around past that windmill and make our way down to the river. This is a small river. It's called the Lampasas River, and it has a gravel bottom. So most of the horseback riders, you can actually run into the river without danger of drowning or having to swim and go to the old bridge. It's just beautiful, crystal clear if it's not, been raining. And then we have other creeks that are running right now.
Tell them how hard it is to park here.
With almost zero reservations, all of the sites are pull-through. There's always someone here 24/7. If you come in at midnight, I've had people come in at 3 in the morning. I'll get out with a flashlight and I'll ground guide you safely into your spot and make sure you get tucked in for the night. Because we're campers, I want to be able to see if my animal's down, if it's colicking or what have you. So each site you should be able to see out of your window to be able to check on your animal at any time, night or day.
Back at the event venue, East Fork Stables. Have you ever been to Racking on the Edge? The Highlands and the dream business. Air-conditioned ridgetop horse trails. Out your back door. Tennessee. 4 beautiful seasons. A short, often warm winter. No state income tax. Low property taxes. The Highlands or White Oak. Enough said. Thanks.
We are in Killeen, Texas, riding at the Parrie Haynes Equestrian Center at Parrie Haynes Ranch near Fort Hood.
A lot of people have the history of the place. A lot of people have heard the history of the place, but you've sort of lived a segment of the history here.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about this place, having grown up and riding here, whether you had permission or not.
When I was a kid, of course, I was born after Parrie Haynes passed away, and this acreage was already part of the state. And what ended up happening was the state used it as basically as the prison for kids that were delinquents for a while. They had cattle out here. It was a working cattle operation. There were some goats and sort of things and some hunting options. And it wasn't until Texas Parks and Wildlife took over in the 90s that they started opening this up for trail riding and people to utilize this ranch. And then once Texas Parks and Wildlife left, Anna Truby took over on her own free will to ensure that this stays open for people to trail ride.
Tell me where you rode here and where you've been over the years, where your favorite part of this ranch to ride.
Oh, there's so many wonderful parts of this ranch that I absolutely adore. You got the century oak. The century oak's a tree that was predates Columbus on this ranch, huge oak. But probably my favorite part of this whole ranch is where the Lampasas River comes through. There's fond memories of childhood of riding horses, fishing down there.
You work in this area, of course, as a veterinarian, but your passion really is people and horses. I've listened to you today talking just off chance. You don't really have customers or clients. You just have friends that you are a vet for. Is that pretty accurate?
That's very accurate. That's how Anna and I met. 14 years ago, she had a carriage business, and she did carriage rides with draft horses. And she called me one day and said, "Hey, I need a vet that can work on a draft horse." I was like, "I'm your guy." Most of my clients, honestly, it's hard to charge them because you feel like you're friends, and you don't really charge your friends, you help them out.
What do you think the future of this place is?
With Anna Truby in charge, she's a strong woman. She's proven herself in the military. She's proven herself in business, and she fights for this place. So with Anna at the helm of this ranch, it's a bright future for this place.
Harvest and Haley rode with us today at the ride here in Texas, and I wanted to ask you, you were in a serious accident some years ago and broke your neck. Tell me about it.
I was in the Navy. I had an F-18 accident. I fell off the top of it and I broke my neck. So I have cages in my neck.
Haley, do you worry about your mom because of her previous injury and all of that?
I do. I worry because when I'm at school every day, is she gonna fall off? She's gonna break her neck again.
You're paralyzed, aren't you?
I am.
And that doesn't slow you down at all.
No.
You're paralyzed, you're worried about your mom, and you ride every day.
I do.
And now you're getting into barrel racing.
Yes, sir, I am. I want to be a professional barrel racer / a professional horse trainer and giving lessons to challenge people.
One of the guests riding with us at Parrie Haynes was Mark Stevens. Mark was part of the hit group The Dovells in the 1960s and 70s. Mark and his partner Jerry Gross still travel and perform all over the world today. We were delighted when Mark offered to do a little singing around the campfire after dinner, performing the Bristol Stomp and other big hits. Mark and his wife Isabel live in Texas now and enjoy horses, riding, and living the Western lifestyle.
And I heard several people say, he's just one of us. So that's got to be a pretty high compliment.
It is a high compliment. I mean, you know, make no mistake about it, 53 years in show business, when the light goes on, you still enjoy the people who come to see you and to take them back in that genre of music, and they just stand up at the end of the show and they want your autograph and take pictures with you. That's great. That feels really, really good. But when the light goes out and I go home to my wife and we go on trail rides and stuff, we're horse people enjoying our lives, having a good time.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back. The very best of America's Best of America by Horseback.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Stop wasting hay. Save 30 to 40% of hay wasted in traditional ring feeders with hay feeders manufactured by Killeen Pipe Structures. Built with 10-gauge galvanized steel tubing, these durable feeders weighing over 1,000 pounds are the best built and longest lasting feeders on the market today. Free choice hay is the best feeding option for your horse. To limit hay, simply latch the reels upright. They can be crated and shipped all across the U.S. They also carry a long line of portable run-in shelters in other buildings. Killeen Pipe Structures, family owned and operated since 1949.
We are riding at Parrie Haynes Ranch in central Texas near Killeen. This ranch is open to the public for trail riding, equestrian camping, and more.
I was here about 10 years ago when we started Best of America by Horseback. We came here for our first production shoot. I was overwhelmed with this place. It's always kind of stayed in my heart a little bit. Maybe the first time you rode here, you know what I'm talking about. People that have ridden here love this place. That was then. Tell me now, the additional trails, everything that's new that people may not have seen because they hadn't been here for a while. So tell me about the improvements and the expansions.
The first thing that we did is we're horseback riders, we're campers, we're mule riders, and we started improving that with that idea in mind. So the first thing we did was improve the campground. Those pens that were in the direct sunlight, we put roofs on. Those that were under trees, we improved the area underneath and took out a lot of the brush. The second phase was to put in electricity and water into all the sites. So we have 31 complete sites that are available now. And as we were doing that, we were also improving the trails so that the trails are now marked with PVC pipe with colored top so that people can identify where the intersections and the trails are and be sure where they're going. I spray paint rocks. I make happy faces on cactus, anything that will keep the horse rider from getting lost.
Wayne Duncan of Wayne's Cowboy Cooking in Killeen cooked a wonderful outdoor meal for our group.
I've got to ask you, how did you get started doing this and you do it so well and you're so well known for it?
Well, I started helping my uncle with a family reunion. I started adding the Dutch oven. I had a big garden, so I would cook the new potatoes and the green beans and the squash and all that stuff, and everybody liked it. And then when I added the cobbler, they just kind of went nuts.
There is a permanent obstacle course set up at Parrie Haynes Ranch across from the office. Riders enjoy working their horses through the course when they are not out trail riding. Anna hosted a judged competition over the weekend with quite a few riders participating.
I want to ask you how many sites you have, but also to include, there may be some people that just want to come into this area and not have a living quarter trailers and need a place to stay. You've got that covered too.
Sure, we have 3 cabins right now. 2 are primitive, that the restrooms are not in the building, but we have a bathroom and a shower facility available, and we have 1 more cottage that has a bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, everything that a person would need. It's set up as a bed and breakfast, and right now we're trying to build 2 more cabins and opening up a little bit more primitive cabin for the larger rigs.
I noticed when we came in, you have a carriage, carts, wagons, and a lot of people will call and ask us, where can we take care of wagons or carts as well as trail ride? And so this place is perfect. Talk about that.
A lot of our trails have rocks on them because this is the hill country, but I had a lot of people that were asking me about smaller carts or 4 carts where they're smaller ponies, miniatures could take them, and it's an ongoing fun thing that people are doing now. So I've made at least 3 miles of non-rocky trails.
Tell me about the land you've cleared and the new areas that you've created.
Right now we're trying to restore the ranch as best as we can to what it looked like more in the 30s before a lot of the juniper took over. So priorities are to 3 of the larger fields to bring it out, and also to restore the field that we're in right now to the way it would have looked in the mid-30s when there were sharecroppers and the WPA was out and people were still farming cotton and corn and there were sheep out.
I sense, because you love this place so much and you love the land, that there may be a museum type of display in the future. Tell me about that.
What we're trying to do is make I'm probably the second generation to take care of this land now, but there's going to be a time when I'm not around. What we'd like to do is preserve what heritage there is here between the pioneers and things that we found, to keep it in one spot so the next group of people can enjoy it and enjoy the history that's here.
For more information on the Parrie Haynes Equestrian Center at Parrie Haynes Ranch in Killeen, Texas, you can log on to parriehaynesequestriancenter.com, or you can call Anna at 254-394-0330.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Best of America by Horseback. Please follow us on future rides. Maybe you'd like to join us. Just visit us on our website or our Facebook page. Tune in next week for another episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay. Thank you so much for watching.